Hi, let's talk about when stillness is still the machine. Something I keep coming back to as we move into this week. Week two was about introspection, why the machine can't fully observe itself, why more looking inward doesn't get you further out. And one of the things that came up in the piece on silence was what the machine does when external input drops away. It doesn't stop, it performs. The silence reveals the program running. The machine doesn't need occupation to keep running. I want to start there this week because there's a version of what we're building towards that sounds like if the machine runs when busy and runs in silence, then the solution is a better, deeper kind of stillness, a more practiced stillness, a stillness the machine can't colonize. And I think that's the wrong conclusion. Not because stillness isn't useful, but because the assumption behind it, that the machine stops when properly still, is the same misunderstanding in a different form. So, what does the standard account say? Well, it says that the implicit logic of a lot of practice instruction is this: that the machine runs on busyness, on reactivity, on the constant stream of input that keeps it occupied and responding. So, reduce the input, create quiet, sit down, and stop feeding it. And there is something to this, which is why it persists, why generations of practitioners in very different traditions have converged on some version of it. In stillness, something does become visible that isn't visible when everything is moving. But the account mislocates what's happening. The machine's fuel is not busyness. The machine doesn't need external stimulation to run. What it needs is to remain the machine. And the machine is entirely capable of producing stillness. So, what does performed stillness look like? Well, this is worth making concrete because the abstract version slides off too easily. Someone sitting in apparent calm while everything about their orientation is managing the room, the position, the quality of what they're offering, the careful expression of someone performing presence. Someone engaged in a meditation practice whose internal posture is performing peace, and the performance is legible in exactly the quality it's trying to conceal. The cultivation of stillness becomes a progression, something to track, something to compare, and something to report. None of this is failure to be still. This is stillness being recruited into the machine's existing repertoire. The machine learns what stillness is supposed to look like and produces it. It can produce it convincingly. And because the production resembles the thing, it generates the feeling that the thing is happening. The problem isn't that people are faking. Most aren't faking. They're genuinely trying to produce stillness and often genuinely succeeding. Real internal quiet, real calm. That is real. And it's still the machine's output. Because what the machine is doing during this stillness is not nothing. It's monitoring for its own absence, tracking whether the quiet is being maintained, whether the practice is going as it should. There is commentary running below the surface. This is working. Something's happening. This is what stillness feels like. The monitoring is what makes stillness a project. And project is exactly what the machine excels at. The produced stillness is the machine succeeding at stillness, not the machine stopping. Thank you for listening to me. If you're interested in following the practice, there's a booking form on negativephilosophy.com. If you're interested in Patreon or Substack and you're not yet members of Martin Butler's Patreon or my Patreon or Substack, then please join. Also, we have books on Amazon. I have done a recent translation of Spinoza's Ethics in modern English, and Martin has written 5 books, 2 of which are in-depth analysis of life from a negative philosophy. And he's also written 2 novels, Conversations with Jelly and Easy. Thank you.